Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out Ruby Mine, which is essentially a baked beans fork where you can come in here, stake your Avax. Well, not really stake, but deposit your Avax and earn up to 8% a day. They have an insane referral system, 12%, just like the Baked Beans project. So that's what we're going to be covering here today. Mine Ruby, earn Avax, repeat. So what we're going to do is we're going to read a little bit more through their website. Of course, check out their white paper. They were recently, they actually just finished up their audit. So we'll also check that out. And then let you know my thoughts about these baked bean forks. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and before we jump into the video, make sure that you do subscribe to the YouTube channel here. If you are new here, welcome. If you want to continue to see content as it pertains to crypto and DeFi, I try to give you guys the earliest possible information that I get. So if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also hit the notification bell, again, because everything that I typically talk about is very time sensitive. So just make sure that you hit the notification bell and boom, you're notified as soon as I launch a new video. Also, really the best way to stay up to date with what I'm doing in the world of DeFi and crypto is to click the first link in the description. That is going to take you to the landing page for the premium Discord server. That is where we do all of our whitelist spot giveaways. That is where you get access to the protocols that I'm making videos about before I actually make the videos. So obviously you can tell massive benefit there. But if that's something that interests you, definitely check out the first link in the description. Other than that, guys, let's go ahead and jump into Ruby Mine. So hopping over back to the website, you can see here that it actually launches in 24 minutes, 39 seconds. So I'm going to do my best to get this out to you guys as soon as possible. As we all know, getting into these contracts early is massively beneficial. If you could have gotten into baked beans when it first launched, then we could be potentially tied, depending on how much you got in with, but we're talking about life-changing amounts of money, right? Now that their contract is over, I think $5 million, which is absolutely insane, right? Over $10,000 worth of BNB, or sorry, 10,000. Actually, I think it was like closer to 12,000 BNB actually. In the TVL, right, in the contract. So absolutely insane the amount of attention it's been able to garnish. So these baked beans forks, I think, are going to do well. I think the one thing that's going to separate, a lot of these ones that are coming out. So there's been a handful of them today, or not today, but recently. I know that there's one that just came out on Phantom today as well. But I think that really there's one thing that separates this from everyone else, right? And really what it comes down to is this deposit fee. 8% is massive compared to baked beans. Baked beans is only 3%. So this is, more than double the dev fee of baked beans, right? So it's very interesting. But other than that, I mean, still up to 8% daily ROI. You essentially come in here, put out how much Avax you want to put into this, hire miners, and then you have to hire or rehire if you want to compound. If you want to take profits, then you can go ahead and hit the collect button to pull out the Avax that you've earned. Now, let's go ahead and jump over to their white paper here, because they talk about a couple interesting points, which I know I've brought up in one of my videos on baked beans in particular, right? So Ruby Mine is a resource-rich mine that has just been discovered with a handful of adventurers. The mine extends 1,000 miles, and you can now lease a piece of land and hire miners that will nonstop mine Ruby for you. So you earn with mining. After all expenses from mining, you'll be able to receive 8% of your initial investment every day. They do have this referral system, which again is pretty juicy, just like the baked beans one. So convince your friends to open up their mine and receive 12% of their total investment. That's huge, dude. That's wild. So compounding, reinvest your daily rewards to hire more miners that will nonstop get rubies out of the ground and increase your earnings exponentially. Their fees, 8% fee on investing and the sale of rubies. Again, this is the highest fee that I've seen to date. I don't know why it needs to be so high, when, the owners are taking 6% for themselves. Kind of an interesting tactic there. I would imagine that if there's one thing that holds back RubyMine, it's going to be this. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of degens that don't mind paying the 6% because they're still making 8% per day. But I think for some people that could potentially be a turnoff. That being said, they also have a 2% marketing fee as well. That comprises that total 8%. So 6% of the 8 goes to the owners, 2% goes to the marketing wallet. There's no fee taken when you reinvest your rewards. However, I do think that there is a fee. Yep. So there is this 8% fee is on investing and when you go and collect your or selling, right? So you'll just be collecting your Avax. So strategy here, and this is very important to understand. And this is the main reason why Baked Beans has been successful. They have an awesome community behind it. Everybody is wanting to adopt this same strategy in order to keep the protocol or the smart contract healthy and sustainable. So let's read into what theirs is as well. Strategy: a handful of experienced miners develop their most profitable strategies without ever exhausting their minds. Yet each having their own mine, they work together as a team. They rehire miners 6 times per week and take profits 1 time per week, right? So this is really the strategy that everybody is trying to get everyone to be on board with, right? And I think that, with Baked Beans, it's easy for them because they've developed over time. They've been around since last year, November. They've been able to develop this community that is really bought into this. I think that in the beginning, Baked Beans, if I remember correctly, they had an issue that kind of threatened the protocol, and the community kind of came together and lifted it back up and, have brought it to the place where it's at today. So expecting people to jump right in and 6-1 this, where they're compounding for 6 days straight and then taking profit on day 1. So really you're only making 8% per week, or you're taking out 8% per week. Obviously it's going to change a little bit because you're compounding, but, this is the strategy that myself and a bunch of others in the premium group deployed as well, in Baked Beans in particular. And I will probably be doing the same thing here for RubyMine, because I intend to jump in right when it launches, which is in less than 20 minutes. So I better get through this. So taking profit too often will exhaust your mind and therefore decrease your return on investment in the short and long run. So this is important to understand too. If we have a whale that comes in and puts in 100 Avax, right? Or something crazy. And it's good that they're adding that much money to the TVL of the smart contract. But they also have to come in here and work the system too. Like they can't this is kind of an anti-whale measure, because at the end of the day, you can't just come in here and continue to, you can earn your 8%, which I'm not even sure it ends up being 8%, but really, I think that it ends up being 8% if you're compounding perfectly right on time and taking profits when you're supposed to be. But if you're not, then that's going to decrease the amount of rewards that you're able to earn in the long run, right? So definitely some things to keep in mind there. Again, this is somewhat of an anti-whale measure, right? So they have to, people have to be able to participate in the protocol and want the best for the protocol in order to, get the most of out of their money, right? They have their FAQ section here. So you deposit your AVAX, and every day you will earn 8% of your invested amount. That accrues rewards throughout the day. Please note that your ROI will decrease with each subsequent claim. To keep the highest ROI of 8% per day, we encourage you to compound your rewards for 6 days and then claim on the 7th day. So that's 6-in-1 strategy. This mechanism is built into the contract to reward users that do it this way, right? So the 6-in-1 strategy. So you have a 0.1 AVAX minimum investment. Do you have any anti-whale mechanics? Oh, yeah. So here we go. So 6-1 is the way to go. It is not just a strategy. Furthermore, it is our anti-whale mechanism. It will ensure that our TVL constantly increases. That's very interesting that they put that in there. I didn't even know that they considered it an anti-whale mechanism. That was just my thoughts, but that's pretty funny. So what is the best strategy? Again, the 6-1. How long will the contract pay out rewards? As long as they're balanced in the contract, there will always be rewards, right? And this really hinges on the fact that everyone is going to play by the rules and participate in the 6-1 strategy. Obviously, look, guys, at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to get a lot of people on board with that. You know, there's going to be people that when they see those numbers start to come up in their claim section here, where here are your rewards, it's a lot easier to play the short game and see those rewards and want to take them right away. For me, I'm completely fine with you know, playing the long game with all of these miners. So I will definitely be playing by the rules. And of course, once this launches in the next 15 minutes, I will go ahead and keep you guys up to date with what's going on with my position and how that ends up growing. Also, here is their Haze crypto audit. Of course, they have the ROI high risk issue that all of these smart contracts play. Just know that, like, going into this, whatever you're depositing into the actual miner itself, that money is gone forever, right? You're only earning 8% on that day, or sorry, you're only earning 8% per day on that initial like deposit amount. Sure, you can add to it, but anything that you put into this cannot be taken back out unless you're just compounding your rewards and getting to a point where obviously you ROI, and then you're able to pull out and then continue to compound. This protocol will pay out as long as there's balance in the contract, right? So pretty interesting to see from the Ruby mine. Let me know what you guys think about this 8% dev fee or deposit fee and how it compares to these other ones that are out there. But I think that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. Want to get this out to you as soon as possible, so that way you could see this video before RubyMine actually launches. It'll probably, once I get this out, it'll probably be pretty close to this. So of course, we'll leave the link to RubyMine down below in the description of today's video. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.